Okay. Hi, everyone. So, we're going to go over my favorites
Hi, this is
with
Jeff
the
Henshaw of the
Xbox
Xbox
magazine.
team. I want to say thanks for checking out the official Xbox
We're going to
magazine
start
and
with
remind you to watch
disc
the
one.
Designing Xbox episode on this DVD featuring Horace Luke and myself. Thanks much. That sucked. Let's do that again. Hi, this is Jeff Henshaw with the Xbox team. I want to say thanks for reading the official Xbox magazine and remind you to check out the Designing.
So, these demo discs would come in the magazines. When you got your Xbox official magazine, these would be the demo discs that would come in it right here. So, the little square one like this would be for if you got let's say if you got it in the mail and you subscribed to the subscription, this is the little like sleeve you would get. And if not, if you picked it up from the store, this is what you would get. You would get the case. So you had them both. This one right here would be if you subscribed to the magazine and it got sent in the mail, and this right here would be what you got if you went to the store and picked up the magazine. So just a little tidbit. Sorry, I'm going through a lot of things on my phone stuff too. Okay, so we're gonna go through here and we're gonna check out some of the demos that were on this disc. This is disc one. Disc one had no playable demos. It was all video. That's all this was just video. You had to have the DVD remote to be able to even access this disc. Let me see here. Trying to be able to see the actual disc here. It's not letting me on my screen see it for some odd reason. Let me make an adjustment here. So, yeah, there we go. So that was just a couple of the actual demos that were on the disc itself. I'm still trying to learn on this stream, so bear with me. I know it's a pain in the ass, but I'm still getting there. So the demos is just what you've seen, and then you have the trailers. So that's the trailers, and every demo disc is different. The second one will actually have some playable stuff going on. So let's see. We'll start with this first trailer here. Love that title screen. So I collect a lot of demos. I think my collection now is up into the 700s. So I have 700 different demo discs in my entire collection. Anything from PlayStation to Xbox, Xbox 360, you name it. I've pretty much got a demo for it. Sega CD. What else? Jeez, so many Dreamcast. I get Dreamcast ones. I have a whole bunch of different ones. So I always like the main screens of the demo disc They were always interactive and nice, so it was pretty fun to see them. And some of the demos had different screens when it came onto the main screen. And I always liked how it said that. That was always real nice. So I've never played this snowboarding game. If you have, comment about it. I'd like to try it out. Reminds me of like 1080 snowboarding for N64. Seems like it's a really cool game. So some of the trailers are short, some of them are longer, just depending on what we're seeing here. They were on Arctic Thunder, so we'll shoot that trailer in. It's actually looks like a pretty fun game, really. I've seen the trailer a couple times. It's kind of like a Twisted Metal meets snowboarding. So, I mean, it's different. It's kind of a battle game. Hope you guys are hearing me okay and everything's going on. Remember, this is my first stream. I'm going to try to get some more of these streams. I want to go through the whole series of the demo disc for the Xbox magazine, and then I want to move on to the PlayStation magazine. I have the complete sets in both. So if you guys like demo disc, please follow the channel. It's going to be a pretty fun, interactive channel. Hoping to have a lot of fun with you guys and get to show you the world of demo disc. Like I said on this one, there's not a lot of, there's no gameplay on the first disc. The first disc was all videos, all trailers.
Rated T for Teen.
So we're just kind of going down through some different trailers. I guess one seemed like it was a longer. I've never played this game either. It's like a Twisted Metal cartoon kind of gameplay.
Don't try this at home.
Seems like it would have been fun.
Don't be such a baby.
And let me know if there's something that you'd like to see. And I'll try to show it on the streams here. I don't like to talk a lot as you guys are watching because I'm sure you don't want to hear my annoying voice. But if you do, great. If you don't, sorry. Got my Cleveland Gaming Classic hat. Love the guys at Cleveland Gaming Classic. If you've never been there, it's coming up. You need to go. It's a great time. It's one of the best gaming conventions in Ohio. Definitely check that out. And if anybody's a vendor, bring your demo disc so I can buy them. So, how I got into these demo discs, I got into them because when I was younger, my mom didn't have a lot of money to buy tons of games, so she would buy the magazines, and I would play the demo disc religiously. And I mean, like, I would play them so much that I knew every inch of every demo that I ever had. And I could play it over and
Good
over and
smackdown.
over. So let me know what you thought of the games here as they were playing. Tell me which one that you would have played or you wouldn't have played. Take a look at Dark Summon here. Maybe if I'd hit the button, huh? Let's try that again. There it is. Let's do that. Please stand by. Dark Summon. So I feel like when Xbox started, there was a lot of snowboarding games. Never played this game either. Seemed like it'd have been fun. And like I said, if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe to the channel. Helps me do all these nice work I do with the demos. I like to post a lot of videos. I go to different conventions. I'm always looking for demo discs. So if you guys know of any, send me a message, comment, let me know. I'm always looking to pick new ones up if I don't have them. Christmas of 2021. Where were you in 2021? Me, I was still in school. Sorry, I gotta hold the remote over here to the Xbox because my Xbox is sitting over here. So, look a little Dave mirror. Always love the music on these games. Always had really great music.
I cannot help convincing reason to give me a role where it fit. It's not meant to hurt you, not meant to destroy you. It's not what I said, but it takes me to bed.
Played a lot of the BMX games. I like them. I still have never successfully went down a power line with a BMX bike.
Life's weighing on your shoulders. Can't seem to keep things so perfectly straight. With most things so basic, your mind has no basic. You can't help but worry. It's all just begun.
So it's got a lot of good people on it. I've actually played this. So this is actually a fun game. You get a chance to pick it up, I would. I wouldn't do it for much. It's not really an expensive game. But it's fun. It's definitely fun. Acclaim. Acclaim made some good games. I like Acclaim. It made some good games. So let's head down here. Dead or Alive 3. Who's played this game? Only on Xbox at the time. Might be still an only exclusive. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'll check that out. That was a super short trailer. move over here to the next section of this. Oh, I thought when I seen this trailer.
Captain Roth.
Dr. Aureliano?
Look at their
Oh,
body
no,
shape. Their
I'm
body
afraid
shape's
not.
hilarious.
My name is Jabez, Aureliano's servant. Welcome to Akbar, Captain.
Dude's like shoulders and legs.
Aureliano's
that's all he
home is on the other side of the island, but this shortcut through the caves will get us there in no
Anybody
time.
played this
What's
game?
the rush?
Let me know how this game
I
is if you
don't
played
like to
it.
keep my master waiting. This way. Guest appears to be able to take care of himself. Pleased to meet you.
Get him! I'd leave now if I were you. Let you out of here.
Time for an encore, I'm afraid. I have to bring the rest down.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at something as we're going through here. I don't want to sound silent on you there. So like I said, this one's just all videos. So you're kind of joining me with some trailers, really, more than anything. So I'm kind of hoping everybody gets to see a lot of stuff. Like I said, we'll play more of the trailers as we go on, but on this one, there's no playable demos, which I think is very depressing when they made that. It's literally 60 minutes of just videos. It says that right there on it. Over 60 minutes. So, 60 minutes of Xbox video.
I can do this.
So, in my collection, I like I said, I have the complete sets of all the Xbox Magazine games, and I have the complete sets of the PlayStation games as well. So, I have a lot of different demos that I collect. I got into collecting them when I was a kid, so I've just been collecting them ever since. I'd like to have them all, but who knows what all is. I have no clue how many that there are out there whatsoever, because there's different ones from different countries. It would go on. It's an endless battle, but I'm gonna keep fighting the endless battle and see where I can go. I'd like to at least be over 1,000. That's my goal. And right now I am at, literally got to look at my collector's app, but I am over 700, as I believe. Let me throw on this other trailer here for you. Got some Madden NFL here for you. So I am at 709 demo discs.
Game time
709.
begins. Taking tackle the challenge. Crash, course, collision. Head-to-head battle with 11 opposing components. Battered up, adrenaline rush, ready to
So,
get on the line.
this was
scrimmage,
a
you make
pretty
the
good
call.
song. I like
This
this
is
one.
the game of football. EA Sports. It's in the game, doing it play by play, moving forward with the aim. First play, you may
2-minute
choose to start
drills.
running back, second in yards, you try to same and get sacked.
I was real
third
big on
down,
Madden,
what to
but
do
Madden
now?
seems
It
to have
you're only
never
inches away
changed.
from a touchdown. No matter
Graphic
what
wise,
happens, the
that's
choice is
it.
on you. This is John
I mean,
Madden.
football's football. I don't know how much you can really
2002. No matter
change.
what happens, the choice is on you. This is John Madden 2002.
But I was a big Madden fan, and I still am. I just don't play a lot of it. So NASCAR Heat. I did play this game, and I liked this game for what it was with NASCAR. I was a big fan of this. So this was kind of a fun game, but it's literally you're making a left turn, and then you just keep making left turns and left turns and left turns. And then you get to be like me, where you turn around the track and just start your own demolition derby and see how many you can take out before they take you out. But I am going to do a stream for every one of these demo discs. I'm going to do a stream for every one of my PlayStation demo discs. And if you guys have something that you remember from your childhood and I have it in my collection, I would love to jump on and just stream that one as well. Just let me know, like and subscribe, comment below. Tell me what you like. Even if you don't like demo discs, you think they're stupid, whatever, let me know. I would love to have the conversations. Like I said, I got into it because my mother didn't have a lot of money, and this was my way of playing a lot of different games, even if it was 1 or 2 levels of a game. But it let me know too, and what I liked about it is you got to play the game before the game came out. So you already know kind of how the gameplay was and what you were getting. That's what I loved about Demo Disc. So it wasn't just blind. You buy a game for $60 and realize you really don't like it. But a lot of the demo stuff too, if you've played demos, the demos will have things that will change in the actual game. So when the game comes out, they might change a certain way, like you can't go down this alleyway, but you could in the demo. So a lot of things do change from the demo to the actual game when it comes out. Is anybody a NASCAR fan? I don't mind a little NASCAR every now and then. It's okay. I mean, it's not my go-to sport, I can tell you that much. But it's definitely fun. I've never been to an actual event of NASCAR. If anybody has, let me know that too. So, like I said, we're going through this. It's just video, and a lot of me just running my mouth at this point.
Defiance. A time for heroes.
They destroyed my family.
It's a lot of good gameplay.
We'll
like
fight
the
you to my very
trailers,
last breath.
the trailers back then were amazing. Even the movie trailers
We
were
might
good.
certainly die.
Now you see movie
But by the
trailers,
gods of
it's hard to
good
watch them
fortune,
because
at
if you
least
want
we
to see
will
the
die
movie,
in
you've
battle.
seen the whole movie through the trailer. At least all the good parts. They put all the good parts in the trailer now. That's what I don't like about trailers. So a lot of these trailers, they made you want to play the game. And then you got the game and realized the game was horrible. But the trailer was amazing. That happened a lot. Looks like it's a pretty fun game, from what I'm seeing here. So you can take off multiple people at once.
You have led us to victory.
So it's not horrible. Let's see, where were we here? We're on some NFL Fever 2002. I liked NFL Fever. Anybody else liked NFL Fever? I liked NFL Fever. I thought this was a decent game.
Kickoff is now 69 yards. Ready, say that red just a bit ago. Well, welcome to the Terror Dome.
No pick there.
Well, welcome to the Terror Dome.
Oh, man.
I seen that big old looking controller. There it is right there. The Duke controller. Do you guys like the Duke or the regular controller? I like the Duke. It just fit better in your hand. That's what I liked about it.
Welcome to the Terror Dome.
Let me know below. Definitely comment on that one. I'd like to hear what everybody's opinion is on the Duke to the regular controller. So let's see what we got here. Where we at? We're going to go down to some Project Gotham. Now, I know it's a racing game. Has anybody played this? I touched on it a little bit. It's alright. I mean, it's a good racing game. It definitely is. I'm not going to take anything from it. A lot of good graphics. There's a whole bunch of different stuff that really is just unique. Was anybody good at racing games? I feel like I was decent in the scheme of racing games, but other than that, I mean, I wasn't no expert. I did a lot of wall riding, especially on sharp turns. I just rode the wall around. And if not a wall, I'd usually down over a hill. Another short trailer. So we're gonna move over to 3 here. We're already on 3. It's been so fun. We're 3 already. All right, here we go. Everybody's favorite cartoon here, Shrek. I did pretty good at making Shrek look like Shrek, though. And I always liked the open world. I mean, 2D, 3D, you know, it's a big difference. 2D, you're just straights left to right. But 3D, it opened up the entire world. I love to be able to look around and just see the detail in things they've made. November of 2001 is when the release of this was. That's what I loved about these demo discs too. You got to see these trailers before the game came out. So you could kind of get a feel of like, am I going to want to spend the money on this game? Is he punching Donkey? Was he punching Donkey? Did I just see that? I thought I did. Who knows? Looks like the environment's changed day to night. Sorry, I'm getting into the music a little bit. I love it. Music's always fun. You know we got to see some Star Wars. Star Wars is I love Star Wars. I can go on and on about some Star Wars. I love it.
Star Wars Starfighter is so cool because of the story.
The game,
It is cool.
the detail,
Immersion,
it really does reward you.
the
All
sense
the
of
above.
being there.
It is a fun game.
I love them. People just come in and be like, it was a great
We
game.
were all waiting
was
to
good.
see what
It was
episode
amazing.
1 was going to be about.
We
Once we got a
already know
chance to
Star
really
Wars,
take a look
it's
at the
not gonna be
script and
amazing about
evaluate
it.
it, we saw Starfighter, and this vehicle was in several scenes,
I was
including
watching
large
this on
battle scenes.
VHS.
It came out naturally. You know, you looked at it and
If you
said,
don't know what
that
VHS
section
was,
can make a great
it's
game.
cassette tape, shoved it in.
We
Usually
have quite an intricate green light
screwed up, and then
process
you had to
that
pull it
involves
out and
marketing,
get it all
sales,
fixed. It was a pain in the
development
ass, really.
guys, the person whose idea
Still
it was
fun.
in the first place. They spend several days in a room hammering things out. After a period of several months, if everyone is happy, then we will give that product a green light and start spending money and building a team around it.
George is involved
I like
early
how
on.
he's so
He wants to
sassy
make
about
sure
it.
that nothing
Was
conflicts.
spending some money about it. Well, good for
Start
you.
with a high
I
concept.
would love to make a game.
Sell the company on that high concept. It's sort of like a movie pitch. You never end
I
up
made a
building
game and have
exactly
really
what
good
you
control.
design.
That's
You're
my
trying to
biggest
build
thing
a
about
good starting
games
point that
is
everybody can
control.
understand and they can work
I hate
off
when
of.
I have to
Our
like
role
move the
is
camera
first and
and
foremost to
get the
produce
angle
fun
and
and
still move
exciting
the
games,
guy and then
to
fight
create
at the same
compelling
time.
stories and
I
characters
hate
and
that.
situations
I want it
that
to
the
be
fans
smooth.
can enjoy
I want it to
and
run
then add
smooth.
to the greater mythos. The player is flying ships around, both in space and terrestrial environments, blowing things up.
At its height, our team got up to 40 people.
We had an extraordinary art team, a very talented gentleman working on terrain, and our level designers were
He's very
responsible
talented.
for coming up with
Very
scenarios,
talented
coming up
guy.
with missions. And then, of course, at the end of it all, we've got that trademark Star Wars sound.
We work very closely with Lucas Licensing, with people at Lucasfilm about the stories that we tell. Everything we do has to fit within the canon, fit within the Star Wars mythology.
Well, yeah.
The feedback we received from fans was mainly they just really enjoyed the story and the characters. They were happy to see new environments
We do
along
have some
with
decent
familiar
storylines.
environments from Episode 1. And they were happy to be able to play portions of Episode 1 that weren't directly tied to the movie, but definitely intersected.
There were new ships in it. There were new alien races in it. The games bring that stuff and bring it to life. You're flying through the droid ship at the end of the game, and there's the landers in there and the droids on the ground.
Anybody play
and the
this game?
tank, and there's just so much going on. And there's an
Star
environment that's
Wars
recognizable, and you remember it from the end of
Starfighter,
the movie.
the
And
special
there's this tiny
edition.
thing right in the middle of it. You want to complete the mission. You want to say, right, I know I've got to chase after this guy. But you also want to sort of cruise around and go, oh, look down there.
I was big on flying games. I loved flying games. Anything controlling, I loved flying planes, jets, anything. Well, here's a big one, The Thing. So I think they just remastered this, if I'm not mistaken, for like the Switch and a bunch of other things. Has anybody played The Thing? Do you like it? Give me your feedback on this. I would love to hear what you have to say about this. It's that awkward silence again from me.
Just touched down outside U.S. Outpost 31. No contact with the crew in more than 3 months.
Wouldn't be able to see the crew. It's a blizzard. Barely can see where you're going.
Thought it was just a down transmitter, but when we saw the
But
camp
there
from
was
the air,
more.
it was obvious there was no one left.
It was obvious. It just wasn't a soul left. It was obvious. Apparently no electric either.
What the hell happened here?
Sleeping on the job. That's what he's doing. Sleeping on the job. Should be fired. Poor
I don't
guy.
like it.
Overworked. Definitely. That was supposed to be the scary part. Supposed to jump.
Once you get
This thing got a lot of
infected,
jump scares.
it becomes a perfect imitation of,
Anybody know?
of you.
They're afraid. We were lied to about this mission and they know it. Or do they think I lied to them?
Well, somebody seemed like they did for sure.
From me, you're one of them!
One of
You're
us
one
is
of them.
infected.
Get away from me.
And I know it's not me.
Obviously.
How are your men holding up, Blake?
They're still alive. But I'm not sure which ones are human.
Jesus Christ.
Captain Blake's team has been exposed. Burn them.
That's harsh. Just burn them. Just burn. Silence. The Thing. Did I lose sound? I feel like I lost sound to the Xbox. That's crazy. I did, I think. I lose sound. I feel like I lost sound to the Xbox. Let's see Ultimate Fighter. Why work on the sound thing here? There we go. We're back. I don't know why we had that sound issue. That's how I want to feel like I walk, but then realize I don't have that many abs. I mean, I probably could. I just got to visit a gym more than just driving past it, really. Anybody like the UFC games? I liked them, especially for the fighting, the hand-to-hand. I loved. I hated the groundwork on a lot of the games. I was not a fan of all the groundwork there was. Especially being able to like to hook and then move and then try to hook again. They definitely made the groundwork kind of realistic there. Especially being able to like to hook and then move and then try to hook again. Alright. Here's one of our other ones here. Raw is War. Guess who's standing in the ring? Triple H himself. Forgive and forget. Live and let live. But if none of that works, dramatic pause, destroy anything that moves. Makes sense. Makes sense. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Dramatic. There it is. There's The Rock. I liked The Rock back in the Attitude Era. The Rock and Stone Cold, I think, had some of the best rivals. Kane and The Undertaker. Loved them. Kurt Angle, not so much. Chris Jericho. He's alright. I'll give a little love to Chris Jericho. The Walls of Jericho right there. right. So, let's go ahead and jump back out of here. That's all the trailers. Thanks for bearing with me on that one. But we did the demos, the trailers, and now we're going to check out the features. So let's see what it was like designing the Xbox. Let's take a look at this.
Well, pretty much when we first started, it's, you know, there were two projects really. One was to create a show
lead.
car, a piece that communicated the core essence of the box and what the box was going to promise to the market. At the same time, parallel to that path, we were also exploring the final design of the box. And of course, with that comes a lot of engineering, a lot of requirements. I looked at a lot of very industrial type architecture, such as nuclear power plants, machines that actually do atom crashing. A lot of those designs came into the creation of the Chrome X. We wanted a trophy, something that says, hey, look at this cool thing we're going to build. The Chrome X was the original spirit of the Xbox. When we start working on the design of the box, we really start with the basic concept of no idea is a bad idea. Went to the copy room,
give you guys a chance
got
to listen to it.
bundles of 500 sheets of paper, probably 4 or 5 bundles of it. So you can imagine thousands of sheets of paper, black pen, and a Microsoft proprietary stamp, and lots of food, lots of drinks. We took a lot of magazines. We bought over $1,000 worth of magazines. Cut out what we believe to be a trend, the trend of a snapshot of that day, and then place it against a matrix that eventually will be measurements for everything design that we do for Xbox. In this case, it was a matrix between intelligent and whimsical, and on the other axis is engineered versus sensual. We basically took what we learned from over 5,000 gamers. It really helped us just focus really quickly down to the final design that it needs to be.
Giving Xbox a home.
When you think about a game console, where it lives in your home, it lives in the center of your living room, on the floor. Why is that? We had a usability expert that took us into many gamers' homes around the world.
I think that would be the
go into somebody's
best
home,
thing to collect,
instantly
is
look
just
at
having
and jot
some
down
sketches
notes as
of
to
when they were in
where
the
does it
room.
sit? Where does a game console sit? Does it sit underneath the TV, on the left or right, or top of? That helps us get a lot of really, really kind of non-influence data. We took measure distance between a television to most gamers' posture, where they sit when they play games. It's actually more than 6 feet, which is a traditional game console cord length. It actually is about 9 feet, 10 feet or so. So from that, we derive 3 meters, which is about 9 and a little more than 9 feet of cable for our controller, which really would increase the user experience. Form was a luxury. Form was something that we absolutely wanted to communicate the core brand value and the brand promise that we have to the customer, which is an ultimate gaming experience. And how do you communicate that through form on the outside? It's a balance that I had to play.
And at the same time, we're really taking a no-holds-barred approach to building the console. We wanted to make no compromises at any step of the design. So when it came time to make a decision, do we spend the extra money and do we include the extra height and weight of a hard drive, we said, what's the right thing for gamers? And the gaming experience is going to be better with a hard drive in every box, so we made that decision to include it. And then we look back to the design group to make sure that that's all being pulled together in the most elegant package that's the simplest for users to get access to all of that power.
In a lot of ways, I had to mimic the language of the box, but yet the box is a very square thing. So how do you translate that? How do you translate this energy that's around this
Look at some of the
into the
controllers
shape
that we're making.
that looks like it's just... We actually had users in a lab in which we give it to them, they touch it, they go, oh no, this is not high enough, or this is getting in the way. So I or somebody else would go down to the shop, shave it off with a piece of sandpaper, come back and say, what do you think about this now? And then they're saying, yeah, that's feeling better, but now this is cutting my hand. So you bring it back again. So there's a lot of back and forth process in which it's almost like a bar of soap, right? Lots of ways. It's the more you shape it, the more comfortable it gets.
We took a lot of Horace's aesthetic and human factor design and took that to game developers and said, look, what kind of things do you just want to go crazy on? and do in your games, and what kind of controller do you need to be able to work with those games. So they're going to be building games with much more advanced character movement and control. So they needed things like 6 buttons on every single controller. A lot of games wanted to be able to count on advanced vibration. So we went ahead and made sure that every single Xbox controller had advanced vibration capabilities, just because it gives a more real, more immersive gaming experience to every single person that plays a game on Xbox.
The color green. There's a good one.
The true story behind why Xbox is green is because I always carry a marker with me, and I happen to have a green marker in my pocket on the day that I was sketching, and I didn't have any other colors. Even my boss came in and said, "Horace, you gotta see more than just green. You can't just sketch everything in green." Next thing you know, we took it to game developers, showed them controllers, showed them box and these sketches that I had, and next thing you know, Xbox became green.
He's the cause of the green, guys. He's the cause of the green.
When a group of us got together, sat down, and talked about what the Dash can be and cannot be, we had the ideas of this being an ecosystem in a lot of ways. That once you're in it, you're very familiar where you're going, but yet you never get lost. And also having a sense of this kind of we always talked about Xbox having a certain kind of secret sauce. What would it be if you dive into the secret sauce and seeing the different parts of it and different molecules of it? That's a lot of it that came out of that. I think the design actually resonate that quite a bit.
It's dripping with the secret sauce. There's no doubt about it. You're really seeing a reflection of what we think is possible with the box in pretty much every aspect of the Dash's design, right? We know that we wanted to make it 3D. We wanted to have a look of complexity, but an ease of navigation to it. We knew that we wanted to have a series of animations in it, all of which are very smooth and fluid and guide you through the experience. There was a lot we could do that was beyond what people think of as traditional. Game soundtracks, custom soundtracks, are probably one of the best examples of that. It gives us a great opportunity to allow gamers to put an audio CD into the drive, pick the tracks that they want as part of their custom soundtrack, actually rip that soundtrack to the hard drive, and when they play games, if a game supports custom soundtracks, in the game they'll just say which of their custom soundtracks they want to use, and that music will be playing in the background of the game, which is pretty cool.
That was cool, actually. That was one of my favorite things.
I definitely think it's about power, and the most important aspect of that power to me is when people buy an Xbox, they take it into their living room and turn the box on, and they're amazed. They can't believe what they're seeing. They didn't think it was possible. They play the game for a few hours and they start calling friends, and they're going to say, "You aren't going to believe what I just did on this Xbox in my living room."
Well, gaming is an escape. It's fantasy. It's like going to the movies, shutting the lights out, being able to focus on something, having a story told to them. Well, except this is that times 10.
That's what it's really all about.
Yeah. I love that guy. Just every now and then he'll say something. That's what it's about. Just what it's all about. The other guy's explaining so much detail, and he just comes in and is like, secret sauce. The sauce is good. The Xbox difference. Let's check that out.
I am Seamus Blackley, and I'm the guy who has to figure out how to convince everybody to buy an Xbox. I get fired if Xbox games suck. Well, I was actually the guy who wrote the first Xbox memo. So I've been on the Xbox team longer than anyone else. I was working in the DirectX group. We were trying to think of ways to make gaming on Windows better. And the ultimate example of ease of gaming is a game console. It came together kind of like an illegal poker game. Bunch of guys who just like to hang out together realized that it was a really good idea. In the current environment, I don't think any company besides Microsoft could really compete with Nintendo or compete with Sony. The idea of getting into this arena as a software company, not as a hardware company, not as kind of a toy company, is exciting because it means that the rules can really change for the way that the game industry works. And so I think when we thought about Xbox, at the very beginning, we really thought that we could create an agent of change, that we could create a vehicle that would usher in this new age of video gaming that everybody likes to pontificate about, but in a very real way. The toughest thing about Xbox was not hardware, software, technology at all. The technology is easy. The toughest thing about Xbox was getting Microsoft to understand that the game business is an entertainment business. It's not a technology business, and it's not a software business. My favorite quote is, never confuse game development with software development. There's software involved, right? But that's not actually what you're doing.
Why is Xbox different?
When you think of Xbox, think
What
of
about
it fundamentally as as an asymmetric multiprocessor environment. Think of it as kind of a band. It's like a rock band. You got your drummer and your lead guitar player and your rhythm guitar player and a bass player and a singer. All of these processors in Xbox are totally independent. And that's very special and new in game console architecture. So the graphics processor in Xbox is really good at lighting. It's very good at surface definition. It's very good at things which are not traditional console graphics processor techniques. Is that bad? No, it's great actually. A great example that I like to give is I'll ask people how many polygons they think the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park had, like the T-Rex model, say,
80,000.
the main close-up T-Rex model in Jurassic Park. The answer is 80,000.
Oh, hey.
Which is
like I've seen it
remarkably low.
before.
Well, why is that? Well, it's because to draw something which looks great, you don't add polygons. You add surface detail. You give artists control of what a scale looks like on a dinosaur, of how it glistens. And that's pixel shading. That's
Don't
vertex
think I would
shading.
have ever seen a dinosaur and been like,
And that's
oh,
what
it glistens
Xbox
pretty
does.
nice.
And that's totally unavailable on any other system. So when you see Shrek, you see Halo, you see how great they look, it's because the technology that we put in really enabled the control of the look of a scene to be given to the artists. You know, you want somebody sitting there making this beautiful model and just having Xbox just draw it. Sound is a great example of the general philosophy of everything we thought about on Xbox. Sound is the terrible, like, disfigured stepchild of the game industry. Sound always gets added last. It always gets no budget. It gets no memory. It gets no CPU. The lead programmer always hates the sound programmer. You know, it's this kind of joke in the game industry that you just slap the
hearing
sound
is
on at the very
believing,
end,
so.
and it gets whatever happens to be left over when the rest of the game runs. And so we decided just to end that debate just outright by putting a really big, fat, powerful, crazy processor in there just for audio. So aside from the fact that there does need to be some memory allocated to audio for the music, there is absolutely no effect on the game for doing beautiful musical scores and highly complicated simulated audio and 3D audio and Dolby surround and all of these kinds of things are all handled by this audio processor totally autonomously. An artist can sit down in front of an Xbox and directly export a beautiful human figure out of 3D Studio Max or Softimage right into the Xbox, and it draws just as it
Oddworld.
looks.
That was a good game.
So that the artist is really now completely in charge of the process. By putting that power into the hands of the artists, you create an entirely different kind of game. You create an entirely different kind of game process. You change the game industry, and you put games on a footing that's more level with other traditional media. Most people don't realize that game developers are artists. Most people don't realize that they come from film and television and from rock bands and all these different places because they love this place where technology and art blend. And the reason that Xbox has such support among people who make games is because it's absolutely, without question, the finest platform to build games for that's ever existed. And the reason is it was designed by people who had been making games, who knew exactly what to do. If you look at Shrek, it's shocking. You know, you see things like, whoa, I didn't know that a game could look so much like the movie. You know, I really feel like I'm playing the movie. It's not just, oh, I recognize that character. He looks a little polygonal, but that's pretty good. It's that you turn on the television and there Shrek is, and it's a kind of a thrill. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Tony Hawk is actually a tremendous example of the Xbox
Played a lot of
difference
Tony
in that
Hawk
it's a
games.
game that everybody knows and loves, and yet it's really taken to the next level on Xbox. You can see this grass is really grass. It's not some stupid looking texture. It's actually every single blade of grass.
Never rode a skateboard
And so
through grass.
the Xbox technology
Not
was
successful.
designed to give that kind of power to the artist. That really is the fundamental dream of Xbox. But we're really focusing hardcore on building an online experience for Xbox around games, around stuff that you can only do in games that are connected, right? It gets really interesting. You can talk about community, and you can talk about massively multiplayer games. You can imagine episodic games in which you get a new level every week. You can talk about downloadable stuff. You have to open your mind to every new idea you possibly can imagine. But at the same time, that imagination has to be tempered with what you know is true. And it's the same kind of imagination that has to go into online. And it's something which really only Microsoft has at this time. We want to really change the experiences you have when you play a game. But at the same time, there's nowhere else on earth where people have as much experience with the reality of broadband adoption, billing, infrastructure issues, like how to frame relays work, all of these different, like, terrifying minutiae that could kill these beautiful ideas dead are understood here. And so the reason I'm incredibly excited about online for Xbox is partially because of the promise of online, but people have been talking about that for a long time. My excitement stems from the fact that online is going to be real on Xbox. It really is going to happen. And that's incredible.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Super incredible. All right, let's jump down here. All right. So, thank you for joining me. And we are at 57 minutes. So I know that you've probably not stuck around 57 minutes, but if you haven't, please like and subscribe to the channel. It's all about demo disc. So I go through a lot of different demo discs. I'm going to stream a lot of them. I'm going to talk to you guys. And if you guys have questions or you guys just want to shout out your favorite demo, shout them out in the comments. I would love to read them. I would love to tell them on the show. So this has been Xbox Magazine, the official magazine. And this was the demo disc number 1. This was the first premiere demo disc that you got with the magazine. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much. And please like and subscribe to the channel so I can get them ratings up, so I can get out there more and show you guys more of my demos. Like I said, I have 700
Hi, this is Mike Salmon. I'm the editor-in-chief of the official Xbox magazine. Welcome to the disc. This disc is lovely because it's all full of DVD
I hope that you guys have enjoyed.
Trailers of
He's
games.
talking over me,
really
but I'm
good
still
trailers
going to
of
keep talking.
Watched that the other day. It
Here,
looked
I'll
great.
fix this problem.
Also, like the trailer on...
There you go. So, anyhow, like I said, thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. We are now at 58 minutes. So, thank you, and have a good day, and I'll see you guys on Volume 2 of Xbox Magazine. Thanks again.